the president so far, he has been very welcomed. His presence has been much needed and very well received there in Louisiana as well as in Texas. And right now, the president seems to be doing what he's been doing from the onset, which is to shake hands firmly and look in the eyes of the first responders, including people like the Cajun Navy, who are volunteers, who are there helping the people who are in much need of great help and assistance. And the president is there looking them in the eyes and saying, great job. It's that sort of, quite frankly, cheerleading that we need from the president at this point for those volunteers. And those, we have a crowd of people there with signs and flags, and they seem to be eagerly awaiting the president's arrival. Again, in times like this, it's really very important to see President Trump in a way that we haven't had a chance to see him before. He seemed, I mean, I feel that any sort of facade that the president puts on, usually to come across as this tough guy, it was gone, and we saw him melt in the faces and in the arms of young children, and really connected on a personal level with the people there at the Energy Center in Houston before he arrived there in Lake Charles, Louisiana. So, kind of to your point in terms of Houston improving.
I think we will also. You bring up really interesting points that we've been talking about now for the last several days. As I moved among Jefferson County, and they've got Democrat elected officials, they've got Republican elected officials, and we all came together and they saw that I was there to help. It didn't matter who they were, what party they were, nationality, race, color, religion, ethnicity, did not matter. We were all pulling together. And we were saying, you know, in a weird, strange kind of way, this event really has kind of helped us to strip away some of those veneers that probably stood between us and really learn to work together. And I think if people will just step back, take a breath, look at what President Trump is doing, as you pointed out, he is a real person. He does have compassion. And if they'll take a look at this from different angles, all sides, you know, figured, then I think we're going to learn from this.
Yes, I feel that way too. You know, God has a strange way of getting our attention.
Yes, he does.
Yes, Congressman Randy Weber, and to you, your district there, the 14th district of the Greater Houston region, your bride, as you referred to her, and your family, we wish you all the best of luck, and our thoughts and prayers continue to be with you and all of Texas and Southwest Louisiana. Thank you very much, Congressman Weber.
It's a very important role for the president to play after natural disasters or terrorism attacks, and certainly, now honestly, I think that some of the criticism directed at the president earlier this week on supposedly having lack of empathy was overblown, and you saw it today. You saw him reaching out to people. The images were very strong for the president, and he connected. He seems very comfortable around the rescue personnel, whether it's the military, as well as the victims. And, you know, he really couldn't go into Houston and get on a boat and drive around the city. I mean, that just would not have been feasible. But I think today he answered all his critics because he looked very strong and presidential today and showing a lot of empathy.
Well, you're right. I mean, if you go into Houston just days after the flooding and then all of a sudden you're accused of interrupting the rescue efforts, and so you're really in a no-win situation there. But we've gotten to see the president firsthand with a lot of folks who are suffering at the worst point in their lives, and able to put a hug, give them a hug, or put a smile on their faces to a certain degree, at least for now. It's going to be a long road to recovery, but certainly giving them some relief, at least for today, right, Bob?
Yes, and the president has also been, I think, his team has been on top of the disaster relief and upping what the region needs and adding billions to what they're going to be sending to Congress. This is only installment one, but they have been on top of this situation. FEMA has done well. The local and state authorities also have done well after some early criticism that some people said Houston should have been evacuated, but that could have been a real disaster, especially as the rain came. So, you know, this administration has passed this test on Harvey, at least so far.
Thing to just get up to speed, and for the president, no doubt, face-to-face, to say thank you for your help to this community and for giving so much to these people in need. And you can see folks waving, and they have a lot of smiles on their faces, and I'm sure after what's been a tough week, they're enjoying the moment for
a group of people eagerly awaiting the arrival of the president and the First Lady. And Bob Cusack, if you could stand by for us throughout the show, thank you. Joining us now on the phone is Brigadier General Patrick Hamilton, dual status commander of the Hurricane Harvey relief effort for the Texas National Guard. And, sir, how are things, the status of everything from your vantage point?
Well, thanks for having me on, and I've got to tell you that I spent most of the day in Beaumont and Orange watching the rescues, visiting with the community leaders, county judge, and some folks in Orange. Still very much into some rescue operations and evacuation of folks that just couldn't get out. But what I saw was absolutely phenomenal there. We came across an area where in the middle of the night, as a Louisiana National Guard unit that had just crossed over, was helping us. I had called my counterpart in Louisiana and worked that mutual exchange. Came across some citizens trying to set up a point of distribution for commodities. One of our units fell in. They cleared a parking lot, set up a textbook point of distribution, and have been running that all day. And then the county judge and those folks jumped in. And the point here is the amount of collaboration combined with the tremendous amount of capability that we have is supporting the citizens. And I just have to say that sometimes when the systems don't work, the people do, and things get done. And if you wait for things to be asked for, sometimes they're too late. And right now, I'll tell you that being out there on the ground doing the things we're doing has been phenomenal. And I've got to get a lot of credit to the state of Texas, the emergency management system there. Those county judges are using their initiatives to get things done. The Texas emergency management system, just phenomenal to watch it work. And we're just providing the horsepower to help them out.
Well, in the case there, sir, it seems that the system and the people are working together, and this is why the nation is watching, the world is watching. And I tell you what, these are horrible images, but you are setting a stellar example.
Really are, Judge.
And were they taking a position as it relates to the president and his activity in flying down to Texas?
Not particularly. I mean, they did report, of course, on President Trump going down to Corpus Christi and, making the statements that he did down there. I didn't see so much criticism of the president's response, which I have to say, Judge, is really surprising because European media can be even more anti-Trump than American mainstream media.
Well, what's to criticize? At least he showed up. I mean, Katrina, don't get me started on Bush. Took him 2 weeks to show up and said that FEMA was doing a heck of a job.
Well, Judge Jean, the hypocrisy that we've seen in the coverage of criticizing Donald Trump. If you remember the BP oil spill under President Obama's watch, you remember he didn't go down to the Gulf for 2 weeks.
That's right.
And even James Carville went on television ranting and raving, saying, "Where is the president? We need you. We are dying down here."
Right.
That's one of his fellow party members who was being critical of President Obama. And over a month later, President Obama gave a press conference saying, I was wrong. He didn't apologize for his what seemed to be lack of attention.
Well, you would think at least that this president would get some credit, but
no, they're focused on the First Lady's shoes.
Yeah, right, the shoes.
Right. That's apparently what's important.
An open I did the last hour, she walks off the plane with Nikes. I mean, what do they think? That Nike flew in a new pair while they were in the air? She had no intention of walking around in heels.
Right,
It's none of their business.
No, I was going to say, it just shows you the totally skewed priorities, looking for any small thing to criticize.
Hate.
Right, it's just pouring down pettiness, as I was saying.
Anyway, let's talk about you and